Okay, welcome to day 2 of 9. I have 9 days to make an AI short movie for Project Odyssey. It's a competition, that is the deadline. Alright, so what are we going to do on day 2? We are going to create the visual language. Day 1, we wrote the script. Took me the whole day. I got a great migraine. I went to bed. My heart was pounding. I didn't know if I could do it. I'm back for day 2. All right, let's see how it goes. Creating that visual language. So in my head, I've got an idea. This movie is called Original Sin. It's going to take place in my head. It's about the sin of being unoriginal. It's about a heist. So how am I going to visualize that? Right. I thought first, I want to create a noir world. It felt right for the inside of my brain. I'm imagining the inside of my brain is a section of sewers and tunnels and dark spaces, and it's going to be full of shadows, and maybe it's going to be black and white with little bits of color here and there, right? And the protagonist is going to be my inner self, Donnie. I want him to be this Cockney detective. I want him in a black trench coat and a black hat and mostly in silhouette. Right. So those were my original ideas. I went online, I got some images that kind of spoke to that, and from some of my favorite movies, I would suggest you do that. Okay, that done, I now head over to Midjourney. Okay, so I've got an idea for the first shot of my film. I want the classic silhouette, the man lighting a cigarette in a dark alley. It's black and white, but there is a red neon sign that says Original Sin. And he just lights the cigarette and walks down the street and it's raining, right? So that's going to be my first shot. I want my second shot to be a beautiful woman with a red apple. She's black and white and she's offering us a red apple because that is Original Sin, right? It is the apple in the Garden of Eden. Okay, so I went over to Midjourney. I started to put together my opening shot. Very simple, you prompt it. I gave it some reference images and I gave it a prompt. I just described what I wanted. There was no magical words. There's no magical skill. It's just do again, try this word, try this, try that. Lots of YouTube videos to tell you what to do. And it came up with a whole bunch of these images. So you can see where I started, and I started to get more sophisticated, and then I added in the neon sign. And eventually I arrived at this image, which I think is absolutely beautiful, if only I can animate it in the way I want. So I headed straight over to Luma Labs, have a wonderful tool called Dream Machine, plugged in my picture, gave it a bit of a prompt, and I had to just let it go. I often liken working with these tools to being to working with a very foreign DOP who doesn't really understand what you're saying and just kind of does their thing. But again, you just make it do it a whole bunch of times and never gets tired. Then I also went over to Runway, which has amazing tools. Put my image in there as well and gave it a couple of prompts. Now, Runway is great at doing more subtle, beautiful things, and Luma Labs is better at movement. It's a wonderful tool if you want something to really happen in the scenes. Runway has also released Gen 3, which is a very, very powerful animator. Unfortunately, it doesn't take images as yet, so it isn't very useful to me for this project, but I am going to use it. I've been experimenting with it. It's incredible. Okay, fantastic. So here I am back at Luma Labs looking at the animations of my shot. Did a whole bunch. As you can see, most of them didn't really work or not that great until I came to this one. It's not perfect. I mean, that cigarette looks like a giant joint, and which is okay, I guess. And the lights up with a bit too much fire, but that's all cool. I like the flick when he closes the lighter. And then he does a beautiful walk away, and it's actually gorgeous. So that's the first shot of my film. I then got this beautiful shot of a lady with an apple. She looks very sexy. I love the way she offers it. A beautiful slow-mo. I did that in Runway. And then the third shot of the film is a shot of me, and I want to travel through my eye into my brain. I took this shot of myself. I then tried to get Luma Labs to zoom right into the eye. I went to Midjourney and I created a version of myself and put it in, and I was actually really struggling to get this shot to work. It took me a lot of time. It took me about half a day. And then that took me inside my brain for my fourth shot, which was going to be the sewer system of my brain. And I had an idea for a neon light, that flashing ideas, but the ideas light is faulty and the ideas light goes off, so you know I'm out of ideas, right? And the shot after that, I'm going to introduce Donnie. He's going to walk into the system and he's going to use voiceover to tell us why he's there, all right? And then something magical happened. I was so excited. I took this beautiful shot of Donnie in a silhouette that I made in Midjourney. I wanted him to walk down the tunnel. I thought I'd have to use a series of shots, some close-up of his feet and so on and so forth. But Luma did something amazing. It just walked him from wide shot all the way into this wonderful close-up. And so I had this lovely long shot that I could use. So I'm extremely excited with my first 5 shots, put them down on, I use Final Cut Pro to edit it. I always want things to look fantastic right out of the gate so that I stay excited. So I made sure I put a great piece of music down. I went to Epidemic Sound. They have an amazing library of music. You pay a very small fee, and then you can have this incredible selection of music and sound effects. So I found this great track, which is kind of creepy and gives me the noir 50s film. So I took that, put it in. I then went over to 11 Labs for my voiceover. Okay, so I wanted this Cockney detective 50s kind of voiceover, maybe with a bit of a modern feel. And 11 Labs is amazing. They've got incredible voiceovers. They've got known actors as well as professional actors. You can get amazing reads, a variety of reads, emotion, shouting, whispering, sadness. It's beautiful. So I found this guy called Andy. Andy is going to be my voiceover artist. So I just take your script and just copy and paste into 11 Labs. And here was Andy reading the first line of my script.
This be a story about original sin, except not the kind you thinking of.
Yeah, I love that. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I got him to read the rest of the lines for those 5 shots. I took those over to Final Cut Pro. I plugged those into Final Cut Pro. There they are sitting on the timeline. I took my 5 shots and I put them down. It took me a bit of crafting, a bit of timing. I slow-mode some of the shots down. I got the voiceover down, added some sound effects and some thunder and drips and drabs. These are the first 5 shots of my film. I think they turned out great. Have a look.
This be a story about original sin, except not the kind you thinking of. I'm talking about the sin of being unoriginal. This is the inside of me tormented brain. And that's me, Donnie, my inner self. What the hell am I doing sneaking about my own noggin, you might ask?
I am very happy with that. Okay, so that has taken me the entire day. We're in the night now, and I just have to do this diary and upload it for you. So join me tomorrow for day 3 when I introduce you to the villains of my film. They are the studio executives and the critics. See you then.